Hi everyone and welcome to a new video and another tag. I was just like a couple of minutes ago tagged by Matthew at MCS Books, but once this video is online it will probably be a while after, and he tagged me to do the Future Classics book tag, and I obviously am doing it now. Thanks to Matthew for tagging me. The first question is, pick an established classic that you think will still be relevant in the future. Now, I've talked about this book many times on this channel already, but I think it would be a stretch for me not to mention this book. And this is The Lost Honor of Katharina Blum, or Die verlorene Ehre der Katharina Blum by Heinrich Böll. Now, the reason why I picked this book is because I think the themes discussed in this novel will always be relevant, as it deals with how media, especially tabloid newspapers, are dealing with like breaking news and how they cover certain stories and what happens to a person after the treatment by those tabloid presses. And I think you will all agree that sometimes what tabloid press is doing with people is really dangerous in a way, and is really affecting everyone, and it's just a bad way of covering news and actually destroying people's life through that. And I'm not just like talking about the bad people they portraying, but also like people they assume have certain connections or did something, and how they are covering those things based on assumptions, and how outrageous that coverage is by the tabloid press. And this is covered in this story, and how it's ruining Katharina's life. So I think sadly this will be also relevant in the future. But not to sound like a broken record, I chose another one, and it's Ingeborg Bachmann's it says sämtliche Gedichte. It's just a collection of all her poetry. Ingeborg Bachmann is, or was, German poet, and I think her poetry will, even though it is very much a product of its time, the relevance and the power behind those poems will still be relevant in the future, in my opinion. Then question 2, pick a recent book which you feel has gone under the radar but which you're confident will be a future classic. And I've chosen Tuesday Nights in 1980 by Molly Prentiss. Now, I've seen this book on Olive at BookOlive's channel, and was immediately drawn to it by her description. And I mean, it's published by Penguin, so in my opinion already great things are ahead for this book. And I have not heard many people talk about this book, and it was published in let me check, it was published in 2016. And I think this is not only a book that deserves more attention, but also I think will be a future classic. I will read you the back because it gives you a glimpse on how beautiful this story is. This is how New York began. Like so many of us, Lucy first falls in love with New York from afar. But it's not until she arrives in Soho, the crucible of downtown, city of Basquiat and Herring and Warhol, home to a seething mass of visionary artists, predatory dealers, hungry critics, angry musicians, and other beautiful, cool, penniless people. Then she meets Raoul and understands why. Everything and everyone is on the up, and a smart, pretty girl from suburban Idaho can reinvent herself as whatever she wants. Once you're here, you're at the heart of the world. But in every heart lies a darkness, and for every person burning like a torch, there are 100 lost in the shadows. And it sounds beautiful, and I think it has the potential for a future classic, and more people should be talking about, and I cannot wait to read it. Because I have not read it yet. Which is also question 4. No, question 3. I'm at question 3. I'm sorry. Pick a title that won one of your favorite book prizes recently, which you think will still be lauded in 50 years' time. Now, I've checked, and one of my favorite book award is the Costa Book Award, because it's really covered here on BookTube, and I think the process of that is really interesting, and therefore I think it will live on. But I have not found, or I have not one book on my TBR or read that actually won the Costa Book Award, but I have one here that is or was shortlisted, and this is The Clocks in the House All Tell Different Times by Xan Brooks. And I've heard Jen Temple mention this book, and I think she was even mentioned in the blurb. So I'm really excited. I will also read you the back, I'm sorry, but I think it's just really great at capturing what this story is about. Summer 1923, the modern world. Orphaned Lucy Marsh climbs into the back of an old army truck and is whisked off to the woods north of London, a land haunted by the past, where lost souls and monsters conceal themselves in the trees. In a sunlit clearing, she meets the Funny Men, a quartet of disfigured ex-soldiers named after Dorothy's companions in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here are the loved and the damaged, dark forests and darker histories, and the ever-present risk of discovering and violent reputation. Xan Brooks' stunning debut is heartbreaking, disturbing, and redemptive. So yeah, I picked this one for like the Costa Book Award, but I also picked Plum by Hollie McNish, and it says here, from the winner of the Ted Hughes Award of Poetry, Hollie McNish won that award, and you know Ted Hughes is one of my favorite poets, so I thought I would do a little twist on that and pick this one as well. Now we're on to question 4. Pick a recent book you haven't read yet, but which you think might become a classic based on reputation, unlike the responses alone. So I actually am basing this on one person's opinion, and this person is Sophie at Sophie Corlin. I will link her channel down below. But it has really influential newspapers on here, The Observer, Independent, and The Times, so there's that. And that's Viper Wine by Hermione Eyre. And this is, I will have to read you the back again, I'm really sorry, but hear it and then you will understand why. The most celebrated beauty in 17th century London, Venetia Stanley, inspires poetry by Ben Jonson, paintings by Van Dyck, and adoration from the masses. Stampedes follow her arrival in town, but as she approaches middle age, the attention turns to scrutiny. Her adoring husband, Sir Kenelm Digby, philosopher, alchemist, and time traveler, wishes she would age naturally, but Venetia discovers a potent and addictive elixir of youth, Viper Wine, set on the eve of the English Civil War, and based on a true story. This brilliant novel asks a very contemporary question: what is the cost of beauty? Now, based on that theme alone, what is the cost of beauty, what is beauty, how beauty is connected through with age. I think this will be a future classic, because those are topics that will always be relevant to our society and on how we see people in our society as a society in general. So I think this one for sure. Then the last question before we get on to tagging people is, pick a favorite book that you want to save for your grandchildren or your friends' grandchildren, in my case probably, to read in 50 years' time. Now I've chosen two books again, and I've chose this cute version of the Moomins, the German version by Tove Jansson, and it's this old second-hand copy, and I loved the Moomins as a kid. I still love them, and I think every kid should experience the Moomins, and therefore I am choosing this as an introduction for them into reading. And then probably especially for the girl, I'm choosing Effi Briest by Theodor Fontane, because I think this would be a really great choice for a book for a young girl to get into the classics and introduce her into this section of literature, because it is really a story that has that element that can grab a young reader and bring her into the world of classics, because it is a classic, but in my opinion it is written really like it is a modern book. So therefore I think it would be a great pick for a young girl to introduce her, or a young boy, whoever decides to read it, to get them into classics. Now onto the people I tag. I tag Rachel at Rachel Louise Atkin. I tag Olive at abookolive. I tag Erica at ThePerksOfBooks, and I tag Giselle at Giselle Bradley. If you want to do it, Giselle, feel free to do it. Thanks again for Matthew for tagging me. I will link his video and the original video down below, and definitely let me know some of your answers or do a video yourself. So I will see you soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.